Hello, I'm That Casual Gaming Guy, and welcome back to another episode of Wild Gardens Zoo. And in this episode, we're going to create some more staff buildings and put in the keeper hut, quarantine, and stuff like that here on this side of our entrance. And then we're also going to be putting in a couple of animals. We're finally going to get some animals in this episode. And I believe what we put in is the Gharial, or Gharial, however it is pronounced, and the Southern Cassowary. And one of the things that I absolutely was just thrilled about with the Cassowary is that it is from one of my favorite childhood movies, and that would be Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. Absolutely love that movie. I love Tim Curry and his portrayal of Hexus, and everyone else in the cast is just awesome. But the two cassowaries within the cast of characters are the kind of like guards, and they're so nutty, so crazy. It's just awesome. So I decided on this side here with the staff buildings just to do the same thing I did with the last batch of staff buildings, so that way they kind of matched. I just did a couple of differences here and there, like adding the dome and the way that it was done here, as well as making one side a little bit higher, than in the middle there, because it's unique. I don't want every building to look exactly the same, although I probably shouldn't say that, because in the next episode, or during this episode, probably the next episode, I placed down some more staff buildings, keeper huts, and stuff like that behind a couple other habitats, and I just said screw this, and I just copy and pasted after I had finished one. And so they kind of mirror image each other, which, goes for the symmetry that I tend to be okay with, I guess you could say. Anyways, so the trim on this, I did the same kind of thing, but I think I was able to do it quicker because I had already done it on the other set of staff buildings. So it goes by fairly fast here. But yeah, no, one of the things that I really enjoyed doing this was just how much I did. And then there's this roof part that I'm just like, well, what can I do? And so I just, I just went with it. Nothing I do really is pre-planned. You are seeing me, I wouldn't necessarily say live. It's not a live play. It's not a what's called a let's play. It's still a speed build, but you are seeing me with no notes, no plans, no nothing usually. So, all right, so here we are building our first habitat. And the first 4 habitats that we put in between this episode and the next are just right here in these corners. And they are just basic L-shaped, or a little more than L-shaped on the other one. This one is the smallest out of the 4 because I had the restrooms there and all that. So this one takes on a larger form over here on this side. But it's just, just a nice little thing here. And I have it go, I was just going to have it cut off like the other one, and I decided, nah, let's put it all the way up. So, and of course I have to get rid of the fence, because you can't have it fenced off when the keepers are trying to get in there, right? So, but yeah, here's where I decide, no, I'm going to have it take that square. So, yeah, and then basically I follow that same kind of design, sort of. Anyways, meanwhile, was going off on a tangent there, and I don't know where I was going, but here I am trying to figure out what animals, and then I decided, you know what, let's not put that on the screen. I don't need to bore you guys with me searching through the animal files. And I decided to go ahead and doll up this entrance to the staff building here and make kind of a sign for it. And I initially had thought about doing this for all of it, and I'm not quite sure what happened with that thought process because I've only done it with this building and stuff. So let me know what you guys think as far as how this sign is and everything and how it looks, and if you think I should do it on the other side as well as maybe put a sign on some of my other staff building areas that says staff only. I think this is a little bit maybe too much, a little too ornate, I guess you could say. But you know, I still enjoyed putting it up at least, but it might be a little much. It's just for show. So all right, now I have decided on what to put here, and we are going to fix the land. This will be for the Gharials. And so I've got to get some nice water going because they are, you know, crocodile-like, alligator-like. I'm actually not sure what species they're actually in. I guess I could look that up. So I had to do some tweaking of the fence to get it up into the hill in order to have a water viewing area. So there's that. And then you can still see a little bit where the graphics kind of glitch with the water. There's a little part by the fence there that doesn't actually have anything blocking it from going through. But I remedy that later with, I believe, the common reeds. And I have to make the water bigger anyways, because the moment that I put them into the habitat, it wasn't sufficient enough. And then the second one goes in and it was even more insufficient. So, and here we are building their little shelter area. And what I decided to do is I looked at where they were from and went with the Indian theme buildings or building stuff to make their habitat, their shelter, their shelter within the habitat. And then I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do with this archway? And I decided, okay, we'll just use the blocks. I'm only going to do it on 2 of the pieces. And then I go ahead and I sink it in a little bit to the wall, and I think it just looks awesome and stuff with those archways. And then I put the, you know, I was thinking, okay, I could change the color. And no, this red roof actually works. But now it's trying to figure out how to do it without messing up those archways. And it was like, well, I guess we are going to just have to raise, oh, I can't believe I'm saying this, raise the roof. And then I'm like, let's put glass at the very top for the flat ceiling. I think that'd be nice. That way they can still see out, you know. And then we need an awning. And these the curved corners just seem to work out really well. So that really works. Really works. So if you couldn't tell, especially those of you that have been with me from the beginning, I'm trying something new with these videos. I am trying to talk more and even talk throughout them without having any musical breaks, which has definitely been a little bit of a killer on my voice. And as you can tell, I'm probably a little bit more gravelly than usual. It's also almost midnight on, what's today? Today's the 13th of December. By the time you're seeing this, it will be the following Saturday. Oh, that's another thing. I did come up with a schedule for these videos. No, I don't know if it'll exactly be these videos as far as just Wild Gardens, or just when I upload anything completely like I did in the past. And that'll be on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. I always want to say specific, but Pacific Standard? Are we in Standard Time or are we in Daylight Savings? Anywho, Pacific time zone, since I am on the West Coast. Although I think most people that watch this, as far as, my family and stuff, are within the same time zone anyways. If you are in a different area, different country, different, time zone, hey, let me know. I would absolutely love to hear these things and know just where my viewers are all coming from. With the exception of my mother and Lisa, I know where you guys are. So, but, and of course, if my sister watches this or any of my cousins, anybody who is not related to me or a close personal friend, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know where you guys are from. Even if it's just a time zone, you don't have to put, town, state if you don't want to. But I really would like to know where you guys are all from. Alrighty, so here we go with the reeds that we're putting in around the water. And I even decided, and I did this, I think, in Tall Oaks Zoo with the elephant habitat. I sunk the reeds into the water, and I loved how that looked, especially looking through the glass. Oh, man. Also, I am attempting to do this all in one take, by the way, for this video. I am trying not to stop and start, so bear with me, and I'll let you know later if I do wind up hitting the pause button, which I may go ahead and do just to take a drink of water, because you guys don't really need to hear me do that. But yeah, so there's that. And I didn't want to put in too much foliage and stuff right away, because I know that sometimes I've put too much, then put the animals in, and then had to subtract. But I decided, no, let's put a little bit in just to get it going. So when I put them in, it's not, at 0%. And then, so I wind up with these guys having to add some, I think with both. Now, one of the things that's new right here is the educational talks. It came with the new aquatic pack update. Also, it was a free update for anybody who doesn't have the DLC. And I am honestly not quite sure how they work yet. I'm putting them with every animal though, and we'll figure it out. But one of the things that I don't like about it is you can only set it for 1 month. So you can only have a certain month, like say this one will be March every year. And I think it should be more than that. But then again, I do have the speakers and the TV screens and stuff, so that's fine. But hopefully for every habitat, I will be making these talk areas and these little shelter-like buildings to go with it. Because it's just, something that I feel should be, what if it's raining? What if it's raining and you want to go to an animal talk? You don't want to cancel it. So there's that. But one of the things that I'm also struggling with later on in the next episode, which I'll give you a little, kind of preview, of just by talking about it, is the fact that, see, these two with the Gharials and the Cassowaries, the talk areas wind up being perfectly there's a scenery rating, and it winds up being 100%. And then what I did was I tinkered around a little bit and found out that they're 100% because they're right next to these the gardens we built earlier in the last episode. So all that scenery is being taken into account, whereas all the rest of these animal talk areas that I put in later is, they're not right next to these gardens and stuff, and they're at like 48, 55%, something like that. One of the things that I don't like about these editable signs is the lack of fonts. So I may go back with some of these fonts that I've downloaded from Ricey, I believe, and a couple other people. And I may go ahead and make signs out of those fonts for this, because it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. One of the things too, if you look, the barriers already, not even having it really played much, or on play, it just kind of paused. And the barriers are deteriorating. And I was like, oh no. So luckily that's one of the options that you can turn off. But here I had to move everything over because things weren't being powered. So I had to add the generator in here. And I decided to put the little lightning bolt sign just to signify that that's what it was. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move them in. And one thing that I did not do, and I should have done, and I did this for both the Gharials and the Cassowaries here, was I did not put them into quarantine first. So far, nothing bad has happened, but definitely with the next couple of animals and moving forward, I'm going to do my best anyways to remember that no, those need to be put in. You need to go into quarantine first, especially if you purchase them with regular money instead of if you look down at the bottom, what is that, the bottom left corner, you'll see it says unlimited, and then it has a leaf that says unlimited right there underneath animal trading, and those leaves are actually points to use to adopt a higher caliber, I guess is the word that I'm thinking of animal, better animals and stuff. So those typically that you use the leaf points for, and I don't remember what they're called, forgive me. Those tend to not need to go into quarantine, although I did have one that I just put in that it had something wrong with it. So yeah, it definitely needed to go into quarantine. So I'm very glad I remembered. And I'm just loving some of this stuff. Some of the new foliage, and just, I don't know. You guys know me. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. I think I play it more than I do Planet Coaster now. I wanted to go with a different design for every animal talk area. I wanted to try and also keep it within the theming. The only thing that I went different on for this one versus any of the other ones that I do is that I use these African themed beams and stuff. And it's because they have all these shapes. And I make a design out of these shapes here that I think is actually really cool. But yeah, that's the only difference. Instead of doing something, Australian, South American, I think it's South America that the cassowaries are from, actually. Instead of doing something like that, I went with this African theme, and then just me and my slat things here that I just keep doing. Don't worry, I don't do that for everything. I actually put roofs on the next couple sets of animal talks. So, yeah. Yep, there's that. And then the benches. I didn't know what to do about the benches, so I just used the same benches, just a different color. Now, throughout the park, the benches are going to change, just like the buildings do. And stuff, and I changed the color of the donation plates or bins. I know they look like trash cans to me. So So yeah, and then here's the sign again, trying to figure out, what's a good font, and I'm just like, let's just leave it with what it came with, and we're gonna figure this out later. I can always go back and redo. Now, one thing that I really enjoyed about this one is I was able to put the lighting up on top, figure out the placement, and then move it down. I was only off just a little bit on that one. Not that those lighted up much, but So yeah, now we're ready to we're gonna put more stuff in here for the Gharials, because I have already looked and it said, nope, you don't have enough. Not enough foliage. I'm gonna put more foliage in, and I believe by this point off camera I have already extended their little lake area. Yeah, I did. It's just a little bit bigger. And now with the cassowaries here, and still gotta, that's another thing. It's tongue-tied, sorry. Other than the foliage is the ground and stuff. You can't have too much, long grass or regular grass, and some of them you can't really have grass at all. But yeah, all right. So now that we're done with the animules, now it's time to put in a couple more planters here to mark off this section in the back. And I basically just do the same thing that I did with the other garden sections, except for I just leave this one tiered. But I do the same thing. I build this one over here on this side, and then just mirror image, copy paste and flip it around. But everything stays the same, and I think it turns out rather well. I know I say that a lot. I really do, don't I? I need to come up with some new words, I think. And I also probably should stop tooting my own horn so much. Let you guys toot it for me. That didn't sound wrong at all. But yeah, I love these new, what are they, lipstick palms. I don't know what set they came with, but I had not seen them before, so I'm pretty sure they came with the aquatic. But I haven't really played since the South American. I didn't get a chance really to play with the Australian stuff, because I've been traveling actually a little bit of this summer, late summer. And actually early, I went on a trip up to my mom's. I went and surprised my mother for Mother's Day. And then I went back in August. Went up there for my birthday. And stayed until sometime in September. Brought my mom back down here so she could see all the grandkids and stuff. And me and my sister. And then took her back up and came back end of September. So I did a lot of traveling, and wasn't really able to do much on Planet Coaster or Planet Zoo because my husband's laptop sucks. I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned that before. But it's not the easiest game to play. So yeah. All right, so here we are now with this next part. And what it is I am popping down the barriers for the next exhibits. And that actually brings us to the end of this episode. So, I'm That Casual Gaming Guy. I also go by Steven, and I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did enjoy it, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. And as always, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.